another video. And if you don't know, if you haven't watched me before, my name is Joy, and I am a business owner. I now sell ready to ship wig units. If you was following me in the past before, then you know that I was selling cosmetics. I had lashes, lip glosses. I also had first slides, press-on nails. That's what I originally started off with. But my business actually made a year on November the 6th of 2021. And right before my anniversary in October, I ended up launching ready to ship units on my Joys of Luxury website. So how did that happen? What made me change my mind and get into this? Keep watching. So I was going through Hurricane Ida, right? And I was like, before Hurricane Ida, I already was prepping my business to go ahead and make the switch to selling ready to ship wigs. But I was a little conflicted at first on if I wanted to start with bundles first or if I wanted to sell ready to ship wigs or not, because I was trying to find a vendor, and I had went through about maybe 3 different vendors, and I could not find the quality that I wanted because I was testing different textures. I wasn't really feeling the relationship between one of the vendors I was working with that I thought I was going to start with. And as I kept going, and I was like, I finally was like, oh my God, like God, this the one? I think this the one. Like, and I finally found my vendor that was just everything I was looking for with the quality. Like, you see the deep wave curl, girl. Like, listen, the deep wave, the body wave, the straight hair, and my hair is raw hair. So I ended up, once I got my vendor, I had to decide, okay, do you want to do, I want to say pre-made, but my wigs wasn't pre-made. Like, when they have the pre-made, like factory wigs, and they also have the wig units that your vendor can make where they can add how many bundles you want, right? And they'll customly make it for you and probably charge you like maybe what, an extra $10 or something like that, depending on who you're working with. They'll probably charge you like an extra $10 for to get that part done. So I started off with that, and I started off with three only, and I didn't even need that. I probably only could have started with 1 if I wanted to, because there's a lot that goes into the marketing of it. Like, you have to learn how to market your wigs. Like, where do you want to market your wig at? Like, do you want to be on TikTok, or you want to be on Instagram? Are you going to be out in the streets? Are you going to be going out, however you want to, I would say this. By me starting off with the lip gloss and the other items I was selling before, I feel like it prepared me for this right here, because it came natural, like it came organically. It felt like I didn't feel any type of stress or worry or rush to get it done, because I felt like, okay, like this whole time I was getting led to do this. Like, you had to literally pay attention to your voice in your head, that like, pay attention to you, listen to yourself when you want to do something. And I felt like I wanted certain things out of it, and I got those certain things so that I could get started with. Now, did I have to have those certain things? I don't think I had to have those certain things, but I really, really wanted it. And let me tell you something, nothing not gonna be perfect. Nothing not gonna be perfect. So do not let people make you think that you have to be perfect getting started, but you do need to know how to present yourself, and your presentation really does matter. Okay, because my packaging, if you go to my previous videos, I have put up my packaging, where I got my packaging from, and I showed my box and how it looks. That video actually went viral, and I had a lot of people ended up asking me, where did I get that packaging from? So that is one of the things that I could say. Now, you do have the option to pre-order. You can have your wigs on hand, and you can do drop shipping. Now, me personally, I didn't want to do drop shipping because I did a lot of research. YouTube was definitely my friend. We're getting started when it came to these ready to ship wig units, and I saw there were people who actually said that they did a drop shipping method, and the vendor would actually send the package directly to the customer, and they will leave their information on there. So if the customer sees the information from your vendor, what purpose would they need you for? That cuts you out. So that took drop shipping out of my way. I was like, I'm not messing with it. I'm not doing drop shipping. Pre-orders, I now offer it on my website. I have for certain wigs I do, but I like to have something on hand because me personally as a shopper, I'm the type of person that I want it right now. And so I don't like to wait. I don't like to see, oh, you gotta wait 7 days. That's not really my ideal thing unless it's something that I like. I'm gonna give you a, like, they have a particular hair company that I used to order my hair from, and they hair when they moved online, and it took them about 15 to 20 days to ship the hair out, but they already had built up the trust with their customers because I had been shopping with them for so long that I knew their quality and I was willing to wait on it. To me being new, I felt like I would have rather have my stuff on hand, and so that's what I did. And I feel like that is actually what worked for me. I've had more stuff sell on hand than pre-order, and that's just me. So I'm not going to say it doesn't work for everybody, but you got to do what work for you and what you actually feel like you're going to put time in and promote. I promote more of the items that I have on hand because I want to get rid of what I invested in on hand because I've already put my money into it. So that is another thing, deciding what direction that I wanted to go in. Like, I had to figure all of that type of stuff out. And now, if you already watched my video, one of my older videos, I talked about my cosmetology experience. And the crazy part is that when I went to cosmetology school and stuff like that, I wanted to get into retailing. I wanted to figure out how could I sell something. I didn't want to always be behind a chair. And to be honest, I didn't really work out behind a chair after I got out of school because it just wasn't my desire. I wanted to sell an item, but I just didn't know how to do it. And I'm going to just tell you the truth. The real secret to getting started on a business is to start. Because once you start, you're going to start looking for information in different places. You're going to start investing in things. If you're like me and you want to learn, you're going to invest in what you want. You're not going to let nobody tell you can't do something, especially when Google is free. The information, they have people that are helping you along the way, but you do have to be careful with marketing, buying and purchasing marketing from people, because honestly, I invested money into things that I probably could have researched my own self, and that's what you're going to end up doing. You are going to pay somebody for information that you could have found for free because you didn't want to do the research and you didn't want to do the work. And I'm not saying I didn't want to do the work, but I wasn't sure of what I was doing. And so I started off when investing in trying to learn certain things when it came to marketing. Now, there are certain things that you do want to invest in, and there are some things that you need to know how to do the research for. When it comes down to finding your products, you need to know how to find your products. I feel like purchasing vendors, I don't knock it, but do you trust somebody with your business like that? Do you fully trust that person that you're buying from? Because me personally, what other people think is good hair, I might not think is good hair. You see what I'm saying? Well, I only ever purchased a lash vendor, and it came with some other tools that I was starting off with, and I never used it. I tested it and I didn't like it because the quality that I wanted, I needed a different vendor, period. It wasn't for me. And that's not knocking nobody, but you have to do what works for you. And that's one of the things that, like, entrepreneurship has taught me a lot, is going with your own thoughts. Don't let nobody tell you about an ideal that you have is your vision. You have to figure out how to get that vision to come to life. You have to figure out how to develop that vision. And everybody not going to see how you see it, because you could literally ask the people who have helped me with anything if I had help with anything, or I didn't even end up using the help. And I'm not trying to be a person that's mean or like rude, because I'm not going to be mean, I'm not going to be rude, but I'm not going to take something just because you're giving it to me, if that makes sense. You feel me? I'm not going to just take something because you giving it to me. If I want something a certain type of way, I want it a certain type of way, and I'm not gonna I'll be like, no thank you, I don't want it like that. And you don't have to settle for that either, because when you're dealing with like vendors and people, and you're getting stuff done, this is something you have to present. I will be honest with you. My first set of lashes that I got, I was not proud of them. I was not proud of them at all, because you know what I did? I saw them, I thought they looked really good, and I went ahead and I started with them. I'm being real with you. I went ahead and I started with them, and they had people who, like, they had some people who did like them, but when I tried them on for myself, I didn't like them, and I invested. I probably bought about 40 of them, and I had got custom boxes made and everything. What the vendor actually showed me on the phone compared to what I got in person, I didn't like it, and I put so much money into it, and I was just like, now I gotta figure out a way to get my money back out of this. Like, that's why you have to test stuff, because you're gonna be disappointed, because they have vendors gonna charge the mess out of you for stuff, and it ain't gonna be what you think it is. So it is important to be able to FaceTime and talk to them, because that's one of the good things I like about a vendor I do have. I'm able to FaceTime and talk to them if I want to see something before I buy it or anything like that. They communicate with me in the if I don't like the person I'm talking to, I'm going to talk to somebody else, because you're not going to rush me. You're not going to make me buy something right instantly. It's not happening. It's not going down like that. Okay? Don't let them people do that to you. All right, so now let's talk about choosing a website platform. Like, how do you choose the website, which one you're going to go with? Now, don't get me wrong. I tried to start off with Shopify originally, but coming new into business and getting into the online, I was having such a hard time with creating a website. I don't know why it was so hard to me, but Shopify just seemed really hard. And I was doing the 14-day trial, and I'm like, me personally, I wasn't about to keep paying for the struggle, and I was nowhere near ready for it to get my business started, because I wanted to learn how to work my website before I actually launched. And I was working on my website months before I even got inventory. So I ended up going with Wix, because Wix is, to me, kind of like MySpace. Like, if you ever had MySpace back in the day, then MySpace, you would take pictures and you'll put in your backgrounds and stuff like that. And that's kind of what you could do on Wix. Wix is more easy to set up with the templates and stuff like that. And I did Wix for a year. And in December, actually, in December last year, right before Christmas, I ended up switching over to Shopify, because I was doing my research. And as I was doing my research, all right, I'm back, y'all. But as I was doing my research, I was seeing that they had so many different tools, and I kept seeing other people's websites, and they had things that I felt like was attracting people to their page and stuff. And I'm wondering, I'm calling Wix, and I'm like, do y'all have this or do y'all have that? And it just was not having a lot of the things, like even like the shop now, pay later things. It took them a while to get some of that stuff. Shopify had that stuff first. Like, Shopify get everything first, and I was just over it. I was to the point where, like, now I'm into marketing for real now, and I understand what marketing is for your website. So I'm just like, I'm over it. Wix prepared me for Shopify, because when I made the switch over, it was so much more easier for me to set it up, because I had learned how to work a website. Once you learn the ins and outs of working a website, I feel like you could work any website if you do Wix. I did Wix first, but I would advise a person to start off on Shopify and go full force with it, because some of the tools that they do offer and some of the stuff they do have, you probably will enjoy investing in, and it probably will be beneficial to your business. Because now this is one of the things about Shopify that I'm learning. I learned this in this first month right here, because I've only been with them for a month, so I'm not going to brag and I'm not going to make it too long about them, because I'm still learning and seeing how they operate. When it's time for your billing, like say if you receive orders and you had to pay for the shipping, it might it's gonna take your card. It's gonna ask you for your card information and everything, but it's not gonna take the money off. It's gonna your charges accumulate. They're gonna add that charge at the end of the month. So you literally, everything that needs to be paid for, they'll take it at the end of the month. So if you pay for the $29 plan, if you have any kind of apps or anything on Shopify, or if you did any type of shipping, they're going to take all that out on top of that $29. So be prepared for that, because I wasn't prepared for that, but I actually think it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. But that's why I seen people saying that Shopify was costly. That's why. And if you get apps and stuff like that, and when I say apps, you can download things to enhance your website. And if you're downloading certain things to enhance your website, some of them have fees, and you gotta pay attention to that type of stuff, and it's all gonna be accumulated at one time. So that's a good tip for the remember that, sis. Remember that. And here's a tip too: if you're gonna be using like factory wigs or having your vendor make your wigs for you, I would say I think it's a good idea that you learn as much as you can about how to make wigs, whether you're doing it on a sewing machine or you're hand making your wig, because you need to be able to know if you're being ripped off. Because now, don't get me wrong, one of the vendors that I was working with, the quality is really good, but I started realizing that something was not right about my fullness in my wigs. I'm like, why did not as full as it's supposed to be? And sometimes you'll hear people say that their wigs not as full for some reason. Now, I had a unit that was like 22 inches. Now, the longer the hair is, the thinner the hair the bundle gets. But I just felt like it was too, just not, it was just not right. Something just wasn't right about it. So me personally, I ordered the hair and started making certain units for myself, especially when it came down to the inches. And I realized they wasn't putting all of the bundles in at all. They wasn't doing that. So those people, even though they might be friendly and all that stuff, they do different little things to play with you. So you gotta be on top of your stuff, sis. So I started actually customly making my units as well too. And I have a vendor that I use for to have like pre-made wigs as well too. But I still make my own stuff when I want to. You feel me? Because I don't play about my fullness. It's certain things that I'm just not about to play about in my wig business, okay? And so that's what I want to chat with y'all about. If y'all have any topics y'all want to talk to me about, drop down in the comments and let me know. And I'll see if I'll make a video about it, or I'll probably answer you in the comment section. But that's all for now. So